Okay, I made a Photoshop layered file so that you can easily generate the hero banner with the video icon on it for your Salesforce newsletters. I believe that the aspect ratio of that image is 600 by 400, but it might be a little bigger, but the same aspect ratio. So this Photoshop template is 642 by 428, but Salesforce will scale it down if it's not exactly that size. So take a look at the way this is constructed. The size here is referenced. It's a note, so you want to make sure that you turn that off before you actually make your PNG export for your final image. It's just there for a reference right now. The video icon is an overlay. It has transparency, but depending on your image, you could also just change it, make it a little less opaque, but I wouldn't go more than 80% transparent on that. So you could go down a little bit. Just make sure it's a visible icon. And then this background layer is a smart object. So it says here, double click and put your image in there. Okay, so let's do that. Double click. And this other thing comes up called blah blah.psb, and PSB stands for Photoshop Big, so it's like a larger file than we need in that place. Actually, it's 1200 by 675, and we could go bigger than that, but I think it's adequate when you're working in Photo Shelter. Just download the 1200 with, I think it's medium, I don't know, look at Photoshop, and then you can place your image in here. So let's open up an image, and I'm just going to grab something else here. So Katrinelle Davis, and open that. And we have all the different Photoshop documents in the tabs, right? So here's our original Photoshop that we're working in. We have the Photoshop Big document that we just opened, and now we have a third one that we want to place. So I'm moving it to the side so that I can see this layers panel for that image as well as my target, and I want to drag that image holding the shift key down into that Photoshop Big file, and it shows up here. You could rename it Katrina, keep this stuff organized, and then you hit save. I saved it and I can close it. So now the target image is Katrina. If you want to make a change, you double click back into that smart layout, and then you can add another picture. You can go back to the original, hit save, and it's going to automatically scale without decay or destruction to fit the target screen that you have here. So you don't need to ever scale it yourself. It's going to go in and scale it. If you wanted to make changes here, you still could go Command T to bring up scale and then change your scale here. And it's going to be non-destructive scaling because it's always looking back to that large smart layer, the .psb or Photoshop Big file, to get the original data and keep it sharp. And then after you get that right, all you have to do is hit Command Option Shift S, which brings up your save for web, and you're going to save it as a PNG 24, or you can save it as a JPEG, either, depending on which one looks better. You can zoom in on your image holding the Command key and the space bar to look and see, you know, is PNG looking better? Is JPEG? I see some sky breaking up here with the PNG, so I would choose JPEG, and it's a little smoother. So that's one way to choose. They're not exactly the same, and they're going to interpolate the pixels a little different, and then you can save it, you know, to your desktop. I'm not going to bother with that.